Hi, I'm Sian Whedon and this is my YouTube channel. Things have changed a little bit from my intro video. I was planning on doing a YouTube channel which was very much about being 40 and a busy mum and having 3 businesses and trying to fit everything in, and also staying, trying to look glamorous and be fit and nutritious and all that kind of stuff, which has basically been my life for the last, well, forever, but certainly for the last 10-15 years it's been crazy. But actually I've been stopped in my tracks somewhat, and it turns out that 42-year-old Sian is actually going on 75, because I found out a couple of weeks ago from a cardiologist appointment that my underlying heart condition, which I've known about since I was 19 and is a very common heart condition, heart block, and generally you'd live a life with it and most people don't even know they've had it or have it. It doesn't make any difference at all, but it turns out that they've also found out that I have something called dilated cardiomyopathy, which sounds terrifying, but it was very, very slight early stages. And but actually what it meant was that because of some of the medication that I've been put on and how my heart was behaving, that the solution was actually to have a pacemaker put in, which was quite alarming, but actually I'd kind of got my head around to a bit and thought, well, actually, if it's going to make me feel better, because over the last few months I've been feeling much more tired, and so I thought quality of life would be much better, and actually let's just put your big girl pants on and let's do this. But actually things have developed even further, certainly for lockdown 2 for me, which is crazy. Lockdown 1 for me was HIIT training. I was doing resistance weights, running, and I was doing so much exercise, more exercise than I've ever done. I was fitter than I'd been in years. And this lockdown, I am just struggling with energy, struggling to walk up the stairs, crazy difference in such a small amount of time, which was the worry. So I have since then, at the beginning of this week, had a telephone, because that's the world we're living in, a telephone consultation with an amazing pace specialist in the area, who talked me through my heart condition so methodically and clearly, so that I understood exactly what it is that was happening. And I loved his kind of summing up was that your heart isn't really pumping, it's more kind of wobbling phrase. But the long and the short of it is that everything kind of points in the direction of having a genetic disorder, which like Lehman's, or something like Lehman's, for instance, where there is a possibility of, and in that particular disorder, quite a big possibility of a sudden cardiac arrest. Now, hearing that, as I say, I've always kind of, the heart's quite an important organ, isn't it? I mean, generally it's pretty important. So, heart issues are always a worry, but I always kind of just got on with it. But then to hear that it's quite shocking, really. And particularly as, you think about your family and my son and my stepchildren and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so it isn't just a pacemaker that potentially they think I need to have, or more than likely I need to have, but it's actually something called an ICD defibrillator, which I've never heard of before. But it's basically an internal defibrillator. So if I'm laughing, if I have a cardiac arrest, it will charge me back up like Bionic Woman. It turns out that kind of the biggest difference with these ICD defibrillators is that the size, they're about just size bigger than a matchbox. So that's kind of a pacemaker in it. They go in the same way as pacemakers do. They go they sit underneath your collarbone. So I'm guessing somewhere around here. But they do protrude. It's not the look I was going for, but vanity aside, it can save my life and all that. But I don't really want one. So that's what I found out at the beginning of this week, and I've got lots of tests and stuff coming up, being put on a treadmill and all sorts of things. So it's changed the vein of my channel, and the reason is that I did lots of Googling about this, and I could find hardly anything, and I certainly couldn't find very much about people of my age, 40s, even younger, that are having to go through what's quite psychologically is quite a difficult thing to get your head around already. Even just a few days in, I'm struggling with it. because, you know, especially for younger people, you know, I've got family and everything, but if you're, you know, young and going out and stuff, to have what is in effect a metal box in your, you know, in your chest is quite a big thing. So so yes, we're kind of dealing with that, and then I thought this could be a really good way to share that information and to really follow on my thoughts and my feelings, and really watch the process of how this is all going to work, and how hopefully it will completely transform my life. You know, lots of people say, and lots of, you know, family and friends have said, oh, well, you know, it's gonna make you feel better in the end and all that kind of stuff, and that's so true, but I'm not sure that it goes back to a normal as we know it. Not really, ever. You know, for instance, I'm taking my son to Disney World, which we cancelled because of COVID round one, but you know, I'm already looking to see what rides I can't go on. I'm secretly delighted. I'm terrified of roller coasters. This is brilliant. So yeah, that will be upsetting. So yeah, it's a different channel, and already, you know, it's going to try and keep it lighthearted, but actually really try and drive some information in, and to help people understand if they're going through the same sorts of things. But hopefully it'll be quite fun too. I mean, there'll be lots of kind of charging up jokes because they're introducing electric cars in 2013, so I can probably just plug in anywhere. Yeah, that was one of our favourites so far. Oh, how we laughed. But anyway, my appointments next week, I'll have layman's tests and all sorts of things, and hopefully be able to just show you what happens in those tests, and, you know, wearing the belt and all of that kind of stuff. And it will be informative, but in some ways fun. So that's me. It's Sian Whedon. Thanks very much.